So the next service, what we are going to discuss is IAM, Identity Access Management. So anything, whatever we are going to learn, first we need to think of why we need to learn this, right? What it can do, means what can we, why we need this. First, let's try to understand. So Identity Access Management, IAM, is one of the service available in AWS. Okay, so IAM is one identity access management. It is one of the service available in AWS. Okay, so what we can do with this identity access management? See, you are working for one company. Okay, fine. Your company has AWS account. Cool. So when you're trying to log into this company AWS account, you are giving, every day whenever you are logging to your AWS account, you are giving you email ID. Means that whenever you created your AWS account through an email ID or username you registered, right? That you are logging in. Yes or no? All of you, as of today, we were logging with that username and today. If you want to log into your AWS account, you are logging in with that email ID and password, correct?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
That is nothing but a root user. Root user. So root user account, which has full permissions, means if once you log in with that root user account, you can access anything. I can go to billing section, I can go to EC2, S3, IAM, VPC, whatnot, anything I can access in my AWS account. But you are not only the person who are going to work on AWS in your team, right? For example, you are a senior DevOps engineer, or architect or someone, right? You're not only the person, a junior DevOps engineer or someone who is supporting from a few projects, they also need to log into your AWS account, create instances, delete instances, and all they need to do. Is it possible for you? Means possible, but can you share your same email ID and password to all of us, like 10 people we are, all of 10 team members? Can you share that username, password, and ask them to use the same username and password? Do whatever you want in your my AWS. Can you tell like that?
No.
Bro.
In your house, your own father will not give you locker kiss because he don't trust you, right? So in your office, how can you give permissions? AWS, enter your username and password to someone else. We should not give. It should be secured. So what I want to do is, I have multiple team members. For them, I want to give access to my AWS account, but I'm not going to share my root username and password. Even me or whoever the architect, right? They themselves will not log in to root account regularly. Whenever it is required, then only they'll use root or admin account, right? That is username and password. The email ID password you are logging in, right? That is called as root user or admin user, right? So that admin user or administrator root user will log in with that credentials very rarely, whenever it is required. The other cases, even himself, right? The person or herself, they themselves create their own account with restricted privileges and start work with that. So whenever they require, then only they use root user. So now I want to create different users. We have 10 team members. For all 10 of us, we want to create username and password. I want to create a separate username and password. But whenever I create a username and password for them, it is my wish based on their work. One person want to work on admin activity. Lavanya want to work on EC2 instance creation, termination, this and all. Right now, Bhargav want to work on VPC section, VPC. Or the other person, third person, Teja want to work on both EC2 and VPC. I want to work on everything. Admin access I want. So while creating users, right? I'll create one Teja user, username, password, right? Bhargav user password, Lavanya user password, my username password, like that I'll create. When I'm creating my username and password, right? I need to set permissions as well. That permissions here is called as policies. Policies. See, what is difference between authentication, authorization, or else what is mean by authentication and authorization? Authentication?
Authentication is like giving permission to the right user for any application. It's
What
like
is that?
authorization is like
Okay. Yeah. Carry on.
yeah. Authorization is like we can able to have the rights to access this particular functionalities in any application
I think you said
like
both
that.
same. Okay. Can you repeat it? I didn't catch. I'm not sure. Can you repeat it once again? Sorry.
Authentication is like giving permission to someone right for the right user. It's like consider you have created one AWS services and you are giving for some for you no, I mean for free. Only a few services you are giving for free. That time you will allow only few people for some period of time, right?
So
That
that
is
is
called authentication.
not
Authentication.
exactly. Not exactly. Simple words. Let me tell you. You have, for example, Flipkart you are using. You register for Flipkart account. All right. Now, once you log into Flipkart, so that login is called as authentication. That login is called as authenticating whether you are a valid user to access this application or not. That is a authentication. Okay, I logged in. Once I log in, what type of permissions I need to have? So we are normal users, right? For example, you are normal users. I am a Flipkart employee. For example, I am a Flipkart employee, right? You are normal customers. You can log into, if you want to do something in the app, you can log in. If I want to log into the app, I too can log in, right? That authentication, all of us can authenticate. But once the authentication is done, what type of authorization we have? You are the people who has limited authorization, means you can shop, you can search for products, add to cart and purchase them. But can you add something into Flipkart list? Means a new product, can you add into Flipkart app?
No.
No, you cannot add. But I'm an employee or an admin, right? I can add some product, new product came into market. I want to add into Flipkart. I can put the pricing of this, right? Purchase, right? And that and all option and all I can add. Yes or no?
Yes,
That
sir.
is authorization. So if you go for Naukri Monster, you upload your resume, and start searching, right? I'm an HR, I'm a recruiter, right? I too authenticate by using my username and password. You too authenticate using your username and password. That is authentication. Trusting the app. The app is trusting us and allowing. That is authentication. Once after successful authentication, what type of actions we can do there? That is called as authorization. You people can just put your profile and start searching for job. I'm the person who can search for profiles. I have that authorization, right? So you cannot search for another person who has this features and all. You cannot do that. You can just upload your profile, start searching. But I'm the person who can search for profiles. Whoever has uploaded, I can search for profiles. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
got it.
Authentication, authorization. Okay, simple. Authentication means just logging in. Authorization means once you log in, what type of permissions you have. So now
Okay.
I need to set this. So I need to create a username and password for authentication. Once they authenticate, what type of permissions they have to, what type of authorization they should have on my AWS account. That is called as authorization, right? That we can do implement using policies. AWS has given us some predefined policies. AWS has given us some predefined policies. We can use those. We can use them. If that is not sufficient for you, you can create your own policy. They are giving flexibility for you to create your own policy. Okay. So in EC2 and VPC, I forgot to explain you about tags. Okay. That makes sense here, right? So anyways, maybe tomorrow I'll explain you about tags as well. First, let me discuss about this. I don't want to divert there and come back here. So tags, we can use it here. So there is some use with the tags. Okay, I'll discuss about the tags later. So first, let's continue with that. So remind me in tomorrow's class about tags I'll discuss. So now I want to create a user. This is my AWS. There are best features. If you create an, not best features, what we call, so initial configurations you have to do. So whenever you create a AWS account first time and you want to use it for your organization, there are some predefined, not predefined things, some precautions you need to take care. Means few initial configurations you have to do. So what are those also? I don't want to go in a strict way, this first, that first, that first, let not. Just let me go in a better way. Means first, let's try to understand what is it, then we will go it. But generally, people will discuss what are the initial configuration you have to do, then the next topics. But instead of going in an order, it is better to go in an understanding way. So that's why let me go with the user's creation first. Then I'll explain about this initial configuration, account settings and all. Okay. Yeah, this is change password policies, this and all, right? So initial configuration is like, okay. Anyways, I'll discuss this. No need to worry. I'll discuss those. Okay. So this is my users. This is my user section. So you can click, if you want to create an user, you can create users. Add user. So there are no resources to display, means there are no users as of now. Add users. Add users. Username. Right? Okay. This is my username. For example, there is one person in our company called us this AC Technologies. I'm giving his name. Okay. Now, what? So this is the username he has to use to log in, means for authentication. Just think this is authentication section. So he wants to, if he want to log into my AWS account, he has to log in with this username, and password is this. Here I have to set the password. Select AWS credentials type. There are two types. One is programmatic access. The other one is console access. Guys, see here, access is of two types. Whether this user wants to log in through console or through programmatic access. Now, as a root user, I logged in here. This is programmatic access or console access? Console access. Through browser, I am accessing. I want this user to access his AWS account through browser. To log into my AWS account through browser, you can give this console access. You want to do through programmatic access, through commands, or through some, see, we can connect it to Java, AWS instance through a Java program, or like Linux commands, right? I'll show you this through commands. How can we connect and do this and all? We can give, we can see that. So if you want to give that programmatic access, the user can log in through AWS commands, and connect to my AWS account through commands. So that commands, right? That is called as programmatic access. I don't want that now. I want only console access. You select this. I want only programmatic access. You select this. This is a checkbox or a radio button. These two are checkboxes or radio button?
Radio button. That is.
Radio button. No, madam. Radio button will be in round shape.
Checkbox.
Yeah. When it is checkbox, can you select multiple? Yes, I can select.
No.
If it is radio button, only one you have to select. Checkbox means multiple. So here they are saying this. You can select any one of this. You want only programmatic access, you select this. You want only console access, you select this. You want both, select both. Clear? Yes. So for now, I want, you don't know what is programmatic access, we'll see later. So now I want only console access. I'm selecting this. Now, when you select this console access, is this going to be me? No, I'm creating for my colleague. For my colleague, I'm creating. This is his username, right? And password auto-generated. So AWS itself will generate a password for him. Alphanumeric combination, it will generate. No, I want to give a custom password. Okay, you give this. So for example, show password, right? If you want to show the password here, you can give it. So you set your password. For example, ABC123, some password, random password you give it. Right? If you want to see this, you can select this. It will show, it will saying include a menu. It means the password is means the criteria. There should be one capital letter, one small letter, this only this special characters it is giving, right? So that is not matching, it is saying. Okay, I'll adjust that. Okay. So, okay, I gave this password. I clicked here. Okay, no error. So my password is correct. So if you want to give a custom password, you select this and give the password. If you want AWS itself to generate a password, auto generate, you select. Okay, the password is selected. Now, I'll share this username and password with this person. There is one person called as KC Technologies. I shared him username and password. Who set this password? I set this password. Now he will think, he'll know that when I'm giving the username and password, He knows this username and password, and along with him, even I know his username and password. He may think that I may misuse his credentials. Even if there is someone monitoring what actions is did. Right? In this case, technologies user logged in and deleted one instance. When I asked him, he is blaming me. Hey, you also know my credentials. You might have done this, or else I deleted it. I'm putting the blame on him. No. You only deleted. Then he can tell that, okay, you also have credentials. You might have deleted that argument. Will be there, right? So what I want to do is immediately after creating, I'm giving this username. I'm creating this username and password. I'll share it with him. So what I'm telling here, I'm selecting this one option. User must create a new password at next sign in. So I create this username and password. The user will log in. First time he'll log in with this username and this password. He will log in. Once he log in, it will ask him to change the password because I selected require password reset. Once this is the initial password. Once he log in, right, it will ask him to change the password. It will, if you give this username and password, it will ask him to log in. Okay, it will log in. Then it will immediately ask, change your password. It will force him to change the password for the first attempt. If you don't select this, right, it will not ask him to change the password. He has to go to the settings here, right? Settings, there password change option is there. He has to change that. So for now, let me select this. This is a good approach to select. Next, this is related to authentication or authorization.
Authentication.
Only authentication. The username, password to log in, I'm selecting. Okay, the username, password, I'm selecting what is the username and password he has to use to log in. Okay, done. So after login, he has to change the password.
So
yes.
In real time, these things like based on their designation or based on project requirements, we give.
Wait. I'll tell that. Okay, I'll tell that. That depends on the person, right? Okay. Based on the person, what role he has to play, right? In that project, what he has to do, that depends on that role actually. So not based on that in your offer letter, you have one role, just you have this role. So that's why you need to give this role, this permissions here. It's not like that.
Yeah.
In your company, you joined, I am the lead. So I are right. So you two people are there. Okay, you work. I decided like you need to work on this. You need to work on this. So mutual understanding. We decided that. So when you are working on this, I'll give only this permissions. You don't know about Route 53. Why should I give you Route 53 access? You know only you are a junior DevOps engineer. You know how to create EC2 instances and all. Then I need to give you only EC2 instance service access, not about VPC access. Yes or no?
Correct.
So based on that, okay. So now I'm going to create this. Next. Now this is authentication. Next, permissions, authorizations. What type of access I have to give you? What you can do after. So you have username and password. One using that username and password, what actions you can do in our AWS account. So that can be done in 3 ways. Attach existing policies. So there are a list of policies, default policies. I said, right, permission, the authorization permissions are called as policies here. There are default permissions. You can take one and attach to that user, or else you can create your own policy. If you don't like the AWS given policies, you can create your own and attach to that. We'll see how to create our own policies also. Next, copy from existing user. Already there is a user called as ABC. The same permissions, whatever ABC user has, I want to copy to this KC Technologies user. You can copy that. So copy from existing user. If there is a user, it will select, you select that user. So that permissions will come to that. And the ABC user permission will come to KC Technologies user as well. Next, add to groups. I want to give same permissions to 10 users. I want to give same permissions to 10 users. So instead of doing this, create a user, attach existing policy or copy from that user, doing all these things, what I can do is I can create a group, give permissions to that group. Okay, I want to give EC2 permissions to only EC2 permissions to 10 users. What I'll do is I'll create a group. I'll give EC2 permissions to that group. I'll create 10 users, add 10 users to that group. What permissions that group has? EC2 permissions. The users who are part of that group, all that users will get EC2 access. Understood, guys? Instead of assigning permission for individual users, 10 users, right? If there is a same policy, same privileges required for multiple users, instead of assigning them one by one, create a group, assign policy to that group and add users to that group. Simple. Next time when you want to change for all 10 users, just change to the group. The same policies will affect to all the users in that group. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So for now, let me attach. I don't have any existing user. I don't have any group. So let me attach an existing policy. So here administrator access I can give. So for the KC Technologies user, I'm giving administrator access, means full AWS account. Same like root user, that user will get administrator access except billing section. Okay. Who can see the billing part is only root user. Okay. So if you give admin access to KC Technologies user, this policy if you assign, that user can do EC2, S3, IAM, VPC, anything he can access, but billing section and all, few things, right? That password change, right? Root user password account change, those and all they cannot do, right? But other services they can access. Now for him, I want to give only EC2. You can search EC2. So if you give EC2 read only access, for KC Technologies user, I am giving EC2 read only access. Means what? That KC Technologies user can log in and see EC2 service. Read only, check the number of what are the EC2 instances, or security groups are there, what inbound rules allowed in the security groups. Only this he can do. Read. You cannot delete anything. That KC Technologies user cannot delete anything. He cannot modify anything because read only access. Right? EC2 full access I'll give. EC2 full access means all access. Read, write access, complete access. So let me give this for now. So next tags, there is no tags I'm giving, a review. So I'm creating a user called as KC Technologies with console access, only console access with password I'm giving, right? And password is custom password, required password test, yes, immediately reset, required password reset, yes, immediately login, it will ask to change the password, no permission bound reset. What is this? I'll see later. EC2 full access I'm giving, right? Done. Create user. Right? I created a user. This is the login users. Access that user has to use. See, now I'll go to this. I'll go to one more browser. I'll use new browser as a new KC Technologies user. I'll try to log in. I'm going to give AWS console login. Right? So it is asking. Wait, I'll show you. So I'm going login back. It is something somewhere we have not signed up. See here, it is two options are there. This is the regular screen we see. Root user and email ID means whatever the AWS account you have created and signed up, right? That you can give it here, right? I don't want that. I want to log in as a normal user, IAM user. So this KC Technologies is an IAM user. So you have to click on IAM user. So root user, if you are logging as a root user, is right account owner that performs task requiring unrestricted access, means the actions which the IAM users cannot access, only those root user has to perform. Simply for a small EC2 instance creation, we should not use root user. So now IAM user. So it is asking, first you have to enter your AWS account ID. This is my AWS account ID. Okay, this AWS account ID you have to give. Next. All right. Then it will ask for IAM user, KC Technologies. Right? Password you can use. Instead of giving like this, instead of setting IAM user, then user account and all, it has given a, for this IAM user, you can, it already gave a URL. Direct URL it gave. Instead of selecting IAM user, then giving account ID, it has given a direct URL. You can bookmark this, directly go and hit in your browser. Just hit like this. So instead of asking, so directly it came here, this steps. Now you give here. So instead of going to console, there selecting IAM user, giving account ID, coming back here, just it has already generated the URL. You just give it, it will come here. So now I'm going here, KC Technologies, right? Password. So I gave, right, reset password immediately, right? So I gave that option. So when I click on this sign in, it's signed in, see, it is asking to change the password. If I don't select that option, it will not ask. I can use the same password, but I don't want that. So I'm giving old password. Okay, I'm going to change that. I'm logging like a new browser. I'm using a new browser. Means I'm logging like a different laptop. For example, I'm logging like a different laptop. So I used a new browser which don't have any relation with my root account. Say I logged in as a KC Technologies user. Yes or no? Yes or no? Here it is. Here it is showing KC Technologies. I logged in as KC Technologies user. But if I go to Chrome, here I logged in as a Stravany user. Clear? Yes or no,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now here, as I logged in as a KC Technologies user, for what is the policy we attach to KC Technologies user?
Easy to full access.
Easy to full access. Yes. Administration. ఎప్పుడు ఇచ్చామమ్మా నిద్రపోతున్నావా ఏంది easy to full access we gave means this KC Technologies user can do anything on EC2. Let me try to go on VPC. Let me try to go to VPC. As a KC Technologies user, I have only easy to full access, but I'm trying to go to VPC. See, in VPC, you will get access. So if you go to VPC, so when you are giving a EC2 access, you remember you will have some access on VPC as well, right? Okay. Now what I'll do is, see someone, Oregon, she practiced, I guess. So there is some VPC, extra VPC here. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll go to S3, for example. For EC2 user, there will be some access on VPC as well. If you have EC2 full access, you can control VPC as well, little bit, not everything. Let me go to S3. Now it is saying you don't have permission to list buckets. Read access, read of S3 also I don't have. Yes or no?
Yes,
I'll
sir.
go to IAM. I'll go to IAM. As a KC Technologies user, I'm going to IAM. It is saying you do not have permissions required to perform this operation. Ask your administrator to add permission. Something it is giving, right? I cannot access IAM. Now if I go to EC2, so do I have read access? There is one running instance. I can do all these things. Is it possible here? I'm able to see this North Virginia region. Yes or no?
Yes.
Read access is there. I can launch an instance. So this is a new console, right? This is a new console, right? We know, right, how to create an EC2 instance step by step. If you want old screen, you can go there. But let's go through the new instance. New console instance. How to create an instance with the new way of seeing this also we'll see. So Red Hat, okay, only Red Hat Enterprise Linux free tier eligibility. This is free tier eligible. Red Hat, we selected it. If you want, you can search here. At Red Hat free tier eligible, I'm selecting instance type T2 micro, which is free tier eligible, right? Next key pair, okay, there are key pairs, okay. So network settings, that anywhere SSH traffic, all traffic, whatever you want. How much GB? 10 GB, this volume storage, advanced settings if you want, right? So spot instances or hibernation, whatever you want, you can select this. So user data, same thing, whatever we see in that normal old approach, what we select, right? Here it is very short, in a single screen we can do. There it is multiple screen, next we have to do, but here at once in the same screen we can do this, right? Launch instance. So here it's the summary itself here, right? We are creating one instance which is of this AMI Red Hat instance, AMI T2 micro, new security group we are creating. If you don't want to create a new security group, what we can do is edit, right? I don't want a new security group, default security group I'm giving, right? Enable this and also which subnet, no preference, right? This is VPC details, right? So security group, remove this I don't want, select an existing security group. So default security group. So here it's changed. Default, I'm not creating a security group. If you are creating a security group, it will show. I'm selecting create new create security group, select existing security group. I'm selecting existing one, right? Return launch instance. Done. So now I launched one instance. It will take some time. So now I'm launching this instance. Asset KC Technologies user. Understood? Now if I go to root user, right? Shravani root user EC2 instances. I can see that instance, my console instance. So whoever has created, if you have AWS, root user has EC2 access. I'm able to see the instance what I created and KC Technologies user created. This is KC Technologies user. He has EC2 full access. So he can create instances and he can see the instances created by someone else. All right? Yes or no?
Yes, bro.
Remember one thing. IAM is global. IAM is global. So when you create a user, right? When you create a user, you cannot create region specific. I want to create a user who has EC2 full access only for North Virginia region. You cannot do that. If we give EC2 full access, right? For KC Technologies user, we gave EC2 full access, means that KC Technologies user can access EC2 in North Virginia region, right? In Mumbai region, Asia Pacific region also we can get, right? Here no instances, read access at least I have, right? So all the regions that user will get the permissions. Understood? IAM is global. IAM is global. So if we go here, see here, IAM, it is showing as global. If I go to EC2, this is, I'm in EC2 service. EC2 is region specific, regions list it is showing. But if I go for IAM, right, IAM is it is showing as global. If you create a user and give permission, that user will have global access. Understood, guys?
Yes, true.
Okay, so that's it for today. So I'm not going to continue with the next topic. So let me terminate these two instances. Right? You know, right, how to create a user with console access. Next, we'll see how to create a user with. So now I want to delete this user. Very simple. Go select this user, delete. Last the username, enter here. Information, delete. So the user has created, been created 7 minutes ago. Now the user has been deleted. Next, we'll see how to create console access, right? How we have seen how to copy permission from one user to other user. Console access we have seen, programmatic access we will see. Next, roles, policies, right? Default settings. So while we are setting a password, KC Technologies user password, it's showed error first. That special characters are not allowed like that. So you can change the rules. You want 12 characters or 15 characters, right? So you can go and change. Whoever the UCT user means IAM user getting created, that user should follow this password pattern. The password should expire after 90 days, right? Before expiring 14 days before, he need to give a notification email like that and all. We can set the configurations, okay? And multi-factor authentication, all these things, user groups, all these things we will discuss. Okay, guys? Is it clear?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.